use all available legal means and possible engagement of the international community to ensure that government withdraws Bill number 7, which threatens our national values and principles of democracy, as well as constitutionalism, good governance, and integrity. We urge the government of the Republic of Zambia to withdraw Bill number 7 immediately and commence a legitimate, transparent, and people-driven constitutional reform process where...
Council Hayimbe, by-elections, there is this proposal that we are spending so much money in terms of these unwarranted by-elections. But then from a constitutional point of view, and I say this in terms of we have a system of democracy where people vote and elect leaders of their choice. Won't this decision take away the right, the franchise of people to vote for a candidate that they want, where we're now giving the power to a political party? Some are also arguing that then you simply have stooges where the appointing authority says, Mwamba Hayimbe, we don't like you in Lusaka Central, we're removing you, we're picking somebody else from the party. Is this not undemocratic and unconstitutional?
Thank you, Costa. I mean, that's the point of view which others might take with regard to by-elections. But the fact is that we have all spoken, all of us as citizens who are logical in their approach to things, that by-elections are a drain on our resources as a people. Let's do away with them. Now, this is why this whole conversation is very important. It's part of the amendment process. If those who take a contrary view on the floor of the House, or even during the submissions to the Select Committee, brought that to the Select Committee to be part of the report of the Select Committee, who recommend that no, let's do away with the issue of saying we'd go by party list. And of course, Parliament itself would decide. That is the whole essence. You can't argue about something before it has happened outside using speculation. Just now there has been speculation to the effect that most of us UPND MPs will not make it back. Really? Where is that coming from? Which opposition is going to remove us, first of all? Because it's non-existent, it's dead. The opposition is unable to offer a response to this government of the good things that we have done. So that is speculation. Now let us talk about the realities. The suggestion that is maybe we're going to do this delimitation in constituencies that are in the strongholds. But the facts themselves will speak. I had started with a list of some of the biggest constituencies we have in this country. We have Kapirimposhi, we have Katombora, we have Mufumbwe, we have Kanchivia, 8,800 square kilometers. It's bigger than the entire country of Luxembourg in Europe. That's one constituency. Look at Lumezi, 9,776 square kilometers. I can go on and on and on. The fact of the matter is that this is one parameter of the need for delimitation. The fact that we have too many constituencies that are the sizes of countries and beyond. So if we talk about, we compare equity, Lusaka Central, I'm able in one ward, Luwa ward, to build 4 police stations or rehabilitate them. It means that my colleague who is in Kapirimposhi with 17,000 square kilometers, if he builds 4 police stations, it's akin to saying that in the whole Eswatini, which is the size of this Kapirimposhi, they have only got 4 police stations.
They trusted in God. Lesali bakosha. Vakana okusumina maisha bengi shinoshikana mumwana nguma politics. Abantu balanga folupia wala tuka naba bakusha. Wala tuka na ekleza. Bamubalingira fenchito yabo bashikofu apeshiko na balanda balebo obutego ati awo shimulefu amona ulolu papulo tefyo. Echo tukendera pa 28 tukwa bulefyongo. Twaliendapo kuli ba mwana wasa we walked. Nomba kapokola spokesperson ati watu bakesa ni mfuti bakesa mukututinya. Esa miberelo lusemwa chepa sana. Amen. We shall stand up for what is right. Ba Bishop Mulandu balanda mwabatuka. Balelande chishinka. Mutu wewe nishi mule batukila. Uyuni Dangote eba kateka ati monanga wali bomba tetulela anda ukala sondafi. Bombe shobupera abantu ifi mwala mutuka. Ba Bishop chama balande spokesperson apele bakusondele. Webele tukesa na nifunde shule konka. Are you a politician? Imutaba mikate. Uyalanda nkatuma abantu 15,000 bakesa myumoko. Yona yamba kadaism. Tabalebeka tanomba. Moneni Daniel naba nankwe tabati nini tabaile sumino kuya mkunwa wine ya State House. Panemfu mtu wa sufficient mind, the King of Kings, he doesn't rule from State House. Amen. He doesn't rule from palaces. He rules from the cross. Amen. And this is the cross here to listen. Dokulande chinka kwa bulomwenso. Andrew and companions bali vepaya. Nishi ififina tule chitana lelo bali lande chinka icho Kristo abashirile babepa ilapo. Go ahead. shoot, intimidate, take away all our rights, but we shall speak the truth. Which we, the voice of reason. Murupapulo fe muleto senda badilanda basambirira muliloba lazima shani echo tule imira nimbi mwala posa kwa mano labeni kwa abantu balefwane nsala abantu ababafuresha baifara tabafuresha abantu abatwala amataba bala twashana abana ba ku university bala ali mashani ino November yala pota bale byala balefunya ku isefu yakubyala abantu bale senda mensala abantu bale mona uko abana babo bale chula na tukwata bashimayi na bamu 96 2000 tababa folesha kuyubize tukwisoko konsanga mwalolekesha aba abantu balikabiro kubalandira kuno kubapele kibalingire ichichi ntinya okulabi kwika kwa mafunde ashilingire tatwake kale tondolo efe tufiro kuchitomwina Kristo onsa ba Archbishop cha mabakala mabashikofu onsa mu Zambia bali Twitter tutukendo kwabula ifyongo ndebukisha ile myaka twali abantu mendo twali endele pona muno mwina mukitwe n'abana bapa CBU palupapulo ba mwana wasa balefu abatwale twali endele bali umfwile bachulo bali umfwile ba isi wabo twishibe nombaka tuwafira no kwishanga bali fanga tabafa twashika nabo bene muleyibukisha biuten twalilandile bali umfwile ngai mwe chakosa ero nemwe bene mwali kulubali rospadile enshita umfwene vya abantu balelanda ifwe uchikosele shakwa Daniel no Andrew twakula imina pachishinga abo mwayingishe nchito abano wayini ku State House abasekela munga babalelia na mumfu abale senda mina ama vegetables and they were
to duty. They have to go and rest, and you come and insult them and tell them, okay, now we're not going to accept your report because we're the government, but we're also giving you a chance to go and appear before the Senate committee at Parliament so that you can go and reproduce your report in that Senate committee. You know, we've been asking for such a long time to use Zambians. Please take interest in how this government is managing the affairs of the nation. You have never seen a government conducting itself the way the UPND is conducting itself. Where you can send your select committee, your technical committee to go and appear before an inferior, because the technical committee is appointed by the president. The select committee is appointed by the Speaker of the National Assembly. And you ask a superior body, a presidential appointee, to go and appear before a speaker's appointee and repeat what they said. You know, in a view to continue, you know, hoodwinking the public. No, we're actually going on with the process. When we start as these members of parliament and ponder through all these meetings, we ask ourselves, what is the role of parliament in this country currently? What is the role of parliament? We can be rubber stamping this wrongdoing that is taking place. I mean, at least they were clever enough to bring the parliament. They were clever enough to bring the KCM to parliament. And even this highway robbery that is taking place here, they never brought them to parliament. At least they were clever, but this time they even want to insult parliament by giving you a bill and a technical committee which did some work and then come and make a presentation. Look, this is why we have said we are not going to participate in this unconstitutional process. We are not. Okay, but beyond the procedure, here's what I want Zambians to reflect on what is going to happen. If this bill passes tomorrow, we will live with some of the most damning consequences of having breached the Constitution. And this I say without fear or favor. We are going to live with some of the most damning constitutional order that is going to divide this country at a constitutional level. And this is why we stood firm and said we can't participate in it. One principle that you must look at. Now, we're not going to accept your report because we're the government, but we're also giving you a chance to go and appear before the Senate committee at Parliament so that you can go and reproduce your report in that Senate committee. You know, we've been asking for such a long time to use Zambians. Please take interest in how this government is managing the affairs of the nation. You have never seen a government conducting itself the way the UPND is conducting itself. Where you can send your select committee, your technical committee to go and appear before an inferior, because the technical committee is appointed by the president. The select committee is appointed by the Speaker of the National Assembly. And you ask a superior body, a presidential appointee, to go and appear before a speaker's appointee and repeat what they said, you know, in a view to continue, you know, hoodwinking the public. They don't know we're actually going on with the process. When we start as these members of parliament and ponder through all these meetings, we ask ourselves, what is the role of parliament in this country currently? What is the role of parliament? We can be rubber stamping this wrongdoing that is taking place. I mean, at least they were clever enough not to bring the parliament. They were clever enough not to bring the KCM to parliament. And even this highway robbery that is taking place here, they never brought them to parliament. At least they were clever. But this time they even want to insult parliament by giving you a bill and a technical committee which did some work and then come and make a presentation. Look, this is why we have said we are not going to participate in this unconstitutional process. We are not. Okay, but beyond the procedure, here's what I want Zambians to reflect on what is going to happen. If this bill passes tomorrow, we will live with some of the most damning consequences of having breached the Constitution. And this I say without fear or favor. We are going to live with some of the most damning constitutional order that is going to divide this country at a constitutional level. And this is why we stood firm and said we can't participate in it. One principle that you must look at is that from independence up to now, there's a silent principle that espouses our constitutional order. And that is what is called the principle of regional neutrality. Under our current constitutional order, somebody can be a president regardless of what region you come from. We have what is called regional neutrality when it comes to electing a president. All you need to do is to convince the public, the voters, that you are capable, you have the exposure, you have the experience, you have the support of the party members, and you want to bid for president, and they will elect you. Why don't we have a delimitation report as at now? They are going to Parliament tomorrow for second reading. There is no delimitation report. Why? Speculation has become very rife that if this constitutional amendment passes, we're going to depart from the principle of regional neutrality when it is electing the president. Because, peradventure, if the so-called delimited constituencies are all going to come from one region, or the stronghold of the UPND, it means there will be an inbuilt majority in the electoral process. That is going to allow for election of not only members of parliament, but even possibly the president, coming from that region. Okay? And I'm glad today, you know, I was wondering, I didn't want to make this public, because I was looking at it, I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm a lawyer and I exercise my mind at the highest level possible. And I kept asking myself, why come I can't have an answer to the reason why there's no delimitation report at the time we are looking?
Can one speak through us? Please, sure, can you just try to help us? Even as we are not in agreement with this, but if we show it, it's going to be very bad for us. So that is the type of leadership that we have today. And for me, I feel very weak to go into that parliament and start supporting you. I know that you have vested yours, but to tell you the truth, I really feel that we would be doing an injustice to you people to go and debate something that is illegal, and not only that, to go and pretend that this constitution is about women when the ministry has been closed. He has the power to appoint women, he didn't appoint women, and then today he says, no, let us have more women. This is about more women. And when he says, no, it's about more youths, all the youths in parliament have left. Only old people with grey hair. Those returning residents is maintaining there. And they have put him under pressure to say, if you don't create more constituencies, you are not going to see us tell our supporters to vote for you. So this amendment is not coming because he loves women. It is not coming because, no, he loves Zambia. This Constitution, Appeal 7, is about let me release pressure. Because he knows that in his strongholds, they have put him under pressure to say, if you are going to continue holding on to those returning residents in parliament, then you are not going to have our support. So we cannot go ahead and be able to change the constitution just for us to satisfy some of the wins for us to satisfy a particular individual so that he can be able to, release his pressure. That is not the way you are in the Constitution. You are in the Constitution because the people have said this is what we desire. The other issue I wanted to speak, there's this, line which is being said, when Undazi has been limited, it's going to have 80 million instead of 40 million. We went to do a benchmark in Uganda. We went to do a benchmark in Kenya. Do you know what you're supposed to do? If you want to give more resources to a particular constituency,
assumes the full role of president of the party with all the authority and all that goes with being president of PF. Comrade Zayelo, in case you don't know yourself, I am telling you today that you are the president of the PF. And all those who don't want to recognize you as such, they will face the whip. It can never be said better than that. That's what the Constitution says. When you join an organization, first you must know the DNA of that organization before you start yapping. So as far as the PF Constitution is concerned, we don't have a vacancy in the office of the president. What we have is the flag bearer. In fact, it's been very good, because if it were some people, they would have said, I'm president, why do you want to elect another president? Because the PF General Conference was held in 2021, the next one is 2026. But it has been very good. He says, okay, the people want to elect another president to be the flag bearer. So you should really appreciate him and respect him. Now we are gathered here, not because we are PF, but because we are patriotic Zambians. The issue that we are discussing today has nothing to do with PF as a party. It has everything to do as Zambia as a country. When you discuss the constitution of a country, you don't discuss it in isolation as PF, as FDD, as UPND, because nobody, and I mean nobody, is above the constitution. The people of Zambia have spoken for the past 1 year that we do not need Bill 7. And people who think they are clever, they are telling us, no, the institution that is given the responsibility to legislate is Parliament. But you and I know that the current Parliament that we have is compromised. And our duty today is to appeal to the conscience of all the 156 MPs, including the nominated ones, that tomorrow you have a duty to Mother Zambia. You don't have a duty to the PF. You don't have a duty to the UPND. Neither do you have the duty to all the opposition put together. You have a duty to Mother Zambia. For my colleagues in the UPND, President Given Lubinda, my dear sister Jean Kapata, were in Parliament. If we did it, why can't you, this crop of MPs, do it for Mother Zambia? When there was Bill 10, UPND MPs said we are not going to do it. And by the way, I was one of those who were against Bill 10. And I am being consistent. Nobody can point at me and say, look, you supported Bill 10, why are you refusing Bill 7? Because what is in Bill 7 is exactly what was in Bill 10. So what has changed today? President HH Insoni Ebuntu. Umuntu shakwata nsoni, my dear brother. Awe no ubuntu wine nishtakwata. Today, before I came for this press briefing, I was watching one of your clips where you said, we want to thank the Catholic Church and their bishops for rejecting Bill 10. The Catholic Church has been there and will always be there. What has changed today that you can call the Catholic Church as haters because they don't agree with you on Bill 7?
We need to thank the Catholic Church through their bishops for rejecting Bill 10, for providing leadership in rejecting Bill 10. We need to thank the Catholic Church through their bishops for rejecting Bill 10, for providing leadership in rejecting Bill 10.
And to ensure that Bill 7 is relegated to where it belongs, Kuchishala, to the dustbin, because that was the ruling of the Constitutional Court. As the chairperson for the Patriotic Front said, any member of parliament who supports this bill will be betraying the Constitution, the people of Zambia, and their own oath of office. And members of parliament who betray the Constitution, who betray the people of Zambia, and betray their own oath of office do not deserve to continue to serve as members of parliament. The Patriotic Front stands resolute in defense of the Constitution, the rule of law, and Zambia's democracy. We will not remain silent as constitutionalism is dismantled in broad daylight. Our democracy must not be taken for granted. We warned in 2021-2022 that President Hakainde Hichilema and UPND are going to attempt to introduce dictatorship in Zambia. With Bill 7, we are being...
Good day. Today, Sunday, the 14th. Today is an important broadcast, and I'll be opening phone lines immediately because we want to hear from you. Zambia is standing at the precipice. Zambia is at a watershed moment. Tomorrow, that National Assembly will determine where the fate of the country will be in the next 60 years. That's how important it is. Today, the Lusaka Archdiocese issued a very, very strong statement and echoing these sentiments that Zambia is standing at the precipice because you have a government that doesn't want to obey the law, that doesn't want to obey the court orders, that with contempt proceeds to do what the president wants. The president is acting like he's a king, that whatever he says, he decrees and it becomes law. We are a constitutional democracy and we have a set of laws. Our country is not governed by men, it's governed by the law. This president thinks he's king and he can govern by decree. He wants a constitution, he gets a constitution. Now, evil only reigns because good people like you and me sit and do nothing. You lament, you complain, but do nothing. Tomorrow is a day when the fate of our country will be changed. They are using money to buy MPs. They've used all sorts of threats and money to attempt to pass this law. Evil reigns because good people did nothing. Evil reigns because good people sat thinking someone else would do it. And I think President Hakainde Hichilema has been testing us, checking us. First he stole Kwacha and Kabushi constituencies, and the country did nothing. He proceeded. He stole Kawambwa and Pambashe. The country did nothing. He stole Umezi and Imfuwe. The country did nothing. He exports power while you have no power in your homes. For 2 years, the country does nothing. He has realized he can do whatever he wants with our country. Why? Because the good people, you and me, just sit. The good people, you and me, do nothing. And to cement what his plans are about our country, he started with the cyber laws. And no one is willing to go to jail. So we fear, we stay silent, we stay anonymous, we live in the shadows. And he has advisors in Tony Blair. And they are telling him what to do. He knows to what extent he can stretch his luck. He can take away power for 24 hours. When he gives you 3 hours, we even begin to thank him. He has tested our spirit as a country. There have been calls, alarm bells, warnings by the few people of conscience in our country. The Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops have been warning us. Democracy is shrinking. This president is becoming autocratic. He's passing bad laws. He's stealing constituencies. They're even stealing mines, our national assets. What have you and me done? Nothing. The Council of Churches in Zambia have issued several statements since 2021. Look at our country. Look at the corruption. Look at the democratic space is shrinking. Media space is shrinking. Look at the wanton arrests. And what have you done? You've done nothing. So President Hakainde Hichilema knows he can get away with murder. The Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, how many press conferences of concern have they had? What have you done? Nothing. The NGOCC, our mothers, have warned us. This constitution is bad. What have we done? Nothing. Tomorrow, the bill is coming up and it will become law. And the fate of this country will change, and will change literally, almost maybe for the next 60 years. Until maybe when there is a generation, like we saw in 1964, until there is a generation which we saw in 1990, until there is a generation that will say, no, Mr. President, you can't do this. You are not king. What you decree, what you wish cannot happen. Yes, the elections are in 1993. Mr. President, you are taking us to multi-party democracy now. There was a people in our country that told presidents that you are not a king. You are a mere servant of ours, elected by us. Tomorrow we are at a precipice. And again, your patience, your peace, your comfort is being tested. Why? Because President Hakainde Hichilema knows he can get away with it. And I laugh at people that are saying, no, Takapitem 2026. He has cooked 2026 now. He has ECZ, for example, that can nullify a seat in the seat of Tasila. Even issue a preemptive statement that she will not be allowed to stand. She will not file by e-filing. The ECs that you are trusting to run elections in 2026, when you think you can change things, is already captured. And it will not run an election in your favor. It will run the election in the favor of President Hakainde Hichilema. You to come on 2026. What will you do when he steals the election? He's stealing it now. What will you do when he manipulates the election results? What will you do? Here he is. He's going to create another 55 new seats. What are you doing about it? Evil reigns because good people do nothing. Evil reigns because you and me sit thinking someone else will do it. Where are the political parties? Where is Oasis Forum? Where are the donors? Where is the British embassy and where is the US embassy? It's not the country of the US embassy. In fact, the US embassy likes to come after you've gone to war. You've reduced the country to ashes. Then they come with aid. The British do the same. They never intervene. They never stop conflict from brewing. Sadly, the UPND and President Hakainde Hichilema are so oblivious to what's happening in Africa. Just look at the coups that have occurred in Mali, in Chad, in Guinea, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, in Guinea-Bissau. They are all concerned around the electoral process because the leader tried to manipulate the process. What happened in Madagascar? A coup over load shedding. You have a government that is insensitive. What happened in Tanzania? A country that has been at peace since 1961. A country that has never known conflict. A country that liberated Southern Africa like Zambia. A country that single-handedly stormed Uganda, Kampala, and liberated the people of Uganda and chased out a dictator in Idi Amin. What happened this year? The country went aflame. A government killed over 1,000, 2,000 people. Peace broke down. Public property was damaged. Tanzania has known peace. And the president, Hassan, the Sulumia Hassan, was warned again and again, you can't ban the opposition. You can't lock up your political opponents. Allow them unfettered access. Let the competition reign. She abused the law, disregarded the constitution, locked up opponents, hijacked the Electoral Commission, and had an election that made a win by the so-called 97, 98%. But at what expense? On the ashes of Tanzania? Evil reigns because good people do nothing. Tomorrow is the day. I played a video by Honorable Chimbakambwil commenting about the Constitution, but also he talked about the position of acting president in the PF, and I issued a statement immediately. I said, my elder brother, who I'm actually waiting to come here on this program, I said he was wrong about it. We had that discussion in 2014. I remember, in fact, Honorable Chimbakambwili's voice is what guided the meeting, I remember. 2 days after we buried Mr. Sata, on 13th November 2014, a central committee was called. Edgar Lungu was Secretary General of the party. Honorable Inonge Wina, who was, I think, Gender Minister or Chiefs Minister, we went to her office. She convened that central committee. Guy Scott, Emmanuel Chenda, and others, I think GBM, refused to come to that meeting. But a quorum was formed, and the full meeting took place. The agitation then was that there was no need to go to conference. President Sata had died, and the Central Committee endorsed President Edgar Lungu as the president. And while we were there, the MPs came, led by Obvious Mwaliteta. He was Lusaka Province Minister at the time. and Kafiu, a member of parliament, I think, and Malozo Sichone, a soccer MP, and others. They came to that Central Committee meeting that was held at Government Complex, and they had a petition of 65 MPs, and they presented that petition to Central Committee, and they said they didn't even want a conference. They wanted both the Central Committee and MPs to appoint President Edgar Lungu as presidential candidate for that coming election. I remember vividly Honorable Chimbakambwili stood in that meeting that the only way a PF president becomes is by general conference. That matter had been a debate earlier when Guy Scott, as acting president, fired Edgar Lungu, who was Secretary General of the party. People will remember, those that remember PF issues. And Guy Scott proceeded to appoint Davis Mwila. Davis Mwila declined that appointment. It was coming from the Copper Belt. And he appointed Nixon Chilango. I remember MPs led by Harry Kalava even stormed ZMBC, objecting to the decision to fire Edgar Lungu. What does the constitution of the PF say? It's very clear. You have an acting president and you have to go to conference. Of course, the vice president assumes, but they don't become president. They assume. They will exercise all the powers of the president, but they don't become president of the party. The president of the PF can only be through a general conference or an extraordinary general conference. Those are the matters we're actually grappling with even in the courts of law today. That matter aside, let's go back to Bill 7. Bill 7 is very clear. It's unconstitutional. Let's trace where Bill 7 is coming from. The president was in Kasama early this year for Women's Day, March 8th, and he announced that a draft constitution was ready and that he was going to include a lot of women to empower women. He was bringing it as good news to the women who were celebrating, who have always demanded for rights of women, for inclusion, to be at the table. But instead of everyone celebrating, that shocked the entire country. Because Zambians know how a constitution is made. Zambians know how a draft constitution is crafted. The president, Umubavela, he's a naked emperor. He doesn't listen to anyone. It's like he didn't hear the objection from various stakeholders. He flew the following week to Mongu. And in Mongu, it was Youth Day. Remember, Women's Day is followed up by Youth Day. What did he do in Mongu? He again pledged the youths. He says, I have a draft constitution that will empower you. He even said, do you agree? Do you agree that we should have this draft constitution? And Amakada's Wabo, yeah, we agree. He says, we have unanimity. We saw it after an uproar. We still saw a gazette for 30 days about a draft constitution constituting 13 items. Again, stakeholders asked the president, Mr. President, who has crafted this 13? No, they are non-contentious. Mr. President, who tells you they are non-contentious? You want to change the electoral system of our country. You are saying that's non-contentious. We are 50 plus 1. We have an electoral system where our people elect people. And if you want to empower youth, why don't you appoint them? Why don't you tell your party structures to adopt youths and women so that you have a parliament full of young people and women? Why do you want to tamper with the constitution? That was objected. Lucky enough, Lusaka lawyer, Celestine Mukandila, and Lumezi MP, Muniri Zulu, challenged that process in the constitutional, in the National Assembly. It was proceeding, it even came for first reading on the floor of the House. And the Constitutional Court, for the first time, the president has appointed 50 new judges, 50. He has appointed 50 judges, and the Constitutional Court, he has packed it, including Shilimi as deputy of the court, deputy president of the court. Shilimi, who's not qualified to be a constitutional lawyer, who's not qualified to be a constitutional judge, was appointed straight as a deputy president of the court. But however, that court, despite president appointing 50 judges of the higher courts, from the High Court, Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, and Constitutional Court, they still ruled that the president had abrogated various constitutional provisions. Let me remind you the constitutional provisions that the president abrogated as read out in that Constitutional Court judgment.
Our Constitution. Under those salient provisions, Chair, democracy and constitutionalism are the pillar that makes Zambia a democracy. We are saddened because we sit here when the supreme law of the land has been interpreted, and the proceedings that we are doing today have been impugned by the Constitutional Court in a case of Munia Zulu and Celestine Mukandila. We feel saddened because, according to the Constitution, any act, any omission that is contrary to the Constitution is itself illegal. As lawyers, Chair, you may wish to know that we begin our journey as lawyers by taking an oath to defend, to preserve, and protect the Constitution. I want to stress that we feel duty-bound to represent the people of this country in defending the Constitution of the land. Why do I say so? Chair, in the aforementioned case of Celestine Mukandila versus Munia Zulu and Celestine Mukandila, the court, which is given final jurisdiction on matters of interpretation of the law, especially the supreme law of the land, did make a specific finding that the initiation of Bill 7, which at that time was contained in the ministerial position, flouted a number of provisions, including Article 1, Article 2, Article 5, Article 7, Article 8, Article 9, Article 61, Article 90, Article 91, and Article 92 of the Constitution of this land. The finding was that the initiation of the process must have benefited from the people. How? According to the express findings of the Constitutional Court, the beginning point was for government to appoint a neutral expert grouping, a technical committee that was required, first of all, to go and find from the people areas which they felt needed to be amended in the Constitution. Apart from finding from the people, the experts were required to also look through various submissions from previous constitutional review processes. Once that is done, the experts were required to frame the proposals into a bill. And once the bill has been framed,
it becomes very clear that the president is a candidate for impeachment if the opposition had numbers. As you saw from Lungisan, the last president, he has read out various provisions that the president flouted in the process of trying to craft the constitution. The same unconstitutional process is the one the president has relived. He appointed a technical committee It wasn't even technical in any way. Look at the numbers, the constituent composition of the members, other than the judge and the vice chair, I think Landilan Banda. Just look at the composition if it's technical in any way, if it's a set of experts. But the president appointed the technical committee to respond to the issue of consultation. There was something very definitely wrong with it. Number one, it was not supported by legislation. Number two, it was narrow in scope. It was given the same issue from Bill 7, the 13 items, to a probe. When the technical committee went out there were a lot of issues that were burning that they had no choice but to include. They even came up with a draft constitution. They had Eva Jala, who's a draft person for the constitution in our country, and she's currently the vice chair of the Judicial Complaints Commission. She drafted a constitution. The report and the draft constitution by our law. First, the setting up of this committee, again, was totally illegal. The president didn't use the Inquiries Act. He used the law, the one he appoints people like, he has done to former vice president and is paying them money, where he has made them a special envoy and is paying them a lot of money under that category. He appoints permanent secretary and gives them special duties. It is under that law that he appointed the body to look at the constitution. In the past, there has been a commission of inquiry. That is the appropriate legislation the president must have used. He used the wrong law. People looked away. They forgave him. The technical committee brought a report and a draft constitution, which are required now to go back for gazettation and to go back to the people for further, consultation. Every time you do this, what did the president do? He abandoned the process, and Nelly Muti relieved the Bill 7, preparing it for second reading, and she appointed the very bill that's dead, the very bill that was declared unconstitutional, null and void, the very bill that the Constitutional Court rejected and stopped the process. She just dusted it up and brought it, appointed a select committee headed by Imanga Wamunyima Nalolo MP, whose conduct we've condemned here, that he didn't conduct himself very well, especially when Lars appeared before him as chair. They dust this up. They ignore the report, because the report and draft constitution requires that it's gazetted for minimum 30 days. They do not have 30 days. President Hakainde Hichilema doesn't have 30 days to manipulate the process. And this select committee has been sitting, including weekends, something that Parliament has never known to do. Sitting over the weekend, they've come up with a report that will be tabled. Nelly Muti has since called a special session of Parliament to sit on Monday. Again, Parliament doesn't sit on Monday. They'll sit on Monday under this special session to look at this bill, hear and determine its fate, whether it will go for second reading, whether it will go to full-blown adoption. We don't know. But like I said, evil prevails because good people do nothing. And the president has guaranteed that you will do nothing. You are waiting for 2026. The 2026, he's stealing it now. You are waiting for 2026. There is a famous Lutheran bishop, Martin Nemola. He wrote a poem warning against apathy and the dangers of remaining silent when injustice is prevailing. Now I'm exile. People think that it will not affect them one day. Here is a constitution that will affect the fate of our country forever. Martin Nemola, who was a Lutheran pastor, wrote this in the face of the extermination of the Jews, up to 6 million. But when it was happening, no one thought it would affect anyone. They thought Hitler was just targeting Jews. By the end of the period of 7 years, the entire Europe was in ashes. It had come down into ashes. It took many years to rebuild, and we thank God for American money in the Marshall Plan to revive Europe. Something that started was affecting Jews, and someone thought it would not affect them. So this is what Martin Nemola wrote. First, they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak out because I was not a Jew. They came for the socialist. Well, I didn't speak because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist. I didn't speak because I was not a trade unionist. When they came for me, there was no one left to speak for me. Who do you think will speak for you? Whoever has spoken, they are locked up, jailed, detained, or silenced. Until chikese kukuma, iti chaisa cha Bill 7, and you are seated on your laurels. Yo Mwamba alalanda, yo Fred Membe alalanda, yo Hari Kalabala tulandila, yo NGO sisi wala tulandila. This is beyond all of us. Ulupapulo Luachalo is about people. You know, there was a tax bill in Kenya. The president wanted to hike taxes. And he says, I want to stop borrowing. I want to tax. There's enough money in this country. Young people called Gen Z went and overran that parliament. They said, you people take us for granted for too long. You give yourself new seats. You know how expanded the Kenyan parliament is. They even have provincial governments, full-fledged provincial governments. One of the most bloated, governments is in Kenya. You give yourself 4x4s, you increase salaries for yourself. We have done nothing. It's Chenat to Amileke. They overran that parliament. And for 6 months, the protest evolved into something else. Sometimes our leaders only listen to that. Vakatolika na balanda, bayusizeti na balanda, ba reformed na balanda, ba born again na balanda, ama lawyers na balanda. The president is obstinate. He's just raising parallel voices. Or Moses for Mwali Baba Amacheches. Or Amacheches, which one is weak? Who comprises CCZ? Or Kwali Baba UCZ Muria Naba reformed. They can to Baluish can they didn't consult us. They begin to fight constituents. Oh, uyulungisani lawyer lelanda sana. Get a rogue lawyer, government lawyer, who kweten Kongole sana. Let them fight him in there. And you and I are watching. The lines are open. You can join the lines. You can call. Let's hear your voice about tomorrow.
Malaiti na lelo kulibe fertilizer famasa kwanisa bati uzati kwenyu sembe tenze tinazibati. This is what you meant. Kaleza sembe siti na vote. Talema na boaba, talema na boza. Basi eni baende tuone kovina. Wenye wapaka sweet tokaisha.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Mwamba.
Good evening.
Good
evening.
Ambassador. Ili ashira mailo biponshira injitewe. Nena chira tonkanyo kwebati. Imipokushikubwa pasangelero amacheches tibayiwa ko member bawo. Because church twaliwamu abantu abapusana to ba church kula kukwata behavior ya ibera kona kuma political parties and kuma organization So nina chira mu kwa church, part of some churches, mairo limbiti bakwata ku peaceful protest against nefile for kutsika mairo. But kwena ofo ningamye baba Mwamba okumitana asho wani mbona muri naye mwaba sakamana sana. But mairo ororo abengi bakeshi baba ambassador kweba kicharo cha Zambia. Chira moneka ichapwala lero chali chupa. Ba ambassador tetimi bepe apa for you president. It's very difficult ukufuma panse no kulanda na against. But I'm very much sure about ambassador. If you for ikapona akafirwa no akusonda tewalenga. Tekwewa tibonse balabali mukati abashiranda nibonse abali support okwewa tibiu ikapite na bena na bekara panyisi ukubushita kubomsha diplomacy nango walilia pantu igemu chimona okwewa tibakupere mfuti chikabiye uri awipa yolia iwanga taomwipe yolia tawabwerere kunganda na okufwa so pakwewa sitawipe yolia wala bonfya mano aya kuchenjera aya kweba ti uri omuntu namutaomwipe inayo wifwa efyo ili bill 7 mairo efikatika bambaza nkesara ndati bamunkonge balirandi noko mufikire okutontonkanya mubwere ko pano no lesa talala muramwene mukati mu my enemies muri nabali against na my enemies bill 7 wa Mwamba dem chita show amukesanje ba platform.
Okay, thank you Bamunkonge. Iyo Bamunkonge bale chita show.
Bill 7 no pita bakasontana bakana. Then na isa kuli ichipani chesu ba Mwamba kwambira pali mwa ba Mwamba ba malwa iruni wanta ba bena maketi zuru chanda kabwe kuvika pona bana kachinda ngana mwana felist yandina limipanga list kutina landa because dinarasha amo ba mabaki na rasha palist kutina kwenda please ba Mwamba mkonka nyukikata na lekeni miebe wa Mwamba EPF ubusuma wa mwama leaders na chirapunda walirenga tina PF ya monekera kuchara bambi aba bakusunga kofi lero nga mwabatwara pantanji ba Mwamba ni disaster eka aba fyashi bakambwiri twali batemwa baginga twaborera kunuma bakambwiri balirenga na PF government ukufika no moya pitire kabiri na PF party na popo ya
awe tuyoko bayama tuyoko nimbone ko mulea mkwai. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you Mwamba. This is Nyangwe Dani.
Yes.
Thank you, Mwamba. First and foremost, Mwamba, I've just liked what you've said, your preamble. And what I would say, Mwamba, don't be scared. Uyule so to pepa kumulu mweba Mwamba ala mona. Wala ocho mtemwele ba Mwamba. Bill 7, it's illegal. And you can't force something that is illegal to be a law. Ba Mwamba, ababa kateka besu. Opo ba ishireti power is being a person who is a propaganda, like Professor Valanda Palava propaganda. But it is a shame to our nation. We voted for him. When we voted for him, we thought he was going to be unique and he's going to bring Zambia to development. He failed to do that. More reason why you saw him coming up with, there's so much lacunas. It was all about him. This is what, when a person is a failure, they will always look for something to keep them in power. But power belongs to the people, Mwamba. What will happen tomorrow? For me, I'm not even scared. What I know, Mwamba, is Abantu, Balemuna, and the future of Zambia cannot be determined by an evil person who is always thinking about himself. Mwamba, munene amapalo ya kwaleza. Ngokufuma mu Zambia. It was a blessing. look at how you've stood for Zambians and how you speak for Zambians. And then secondly, Mwamba, Bashishimba Kambwili, that was his opinion, and I cannot say much about his opinion, and I respect his opinion. Many things have been done to destroy PF. But one thing I think about PF is the spirit of Vasata has kept PF together, and it will continue doing so. So for me, my final remark is this. People of Zambia, we are called to defend our country. Our country was formed by the laws that are always going to unite us, and by the peace and the love of God. No one can take that away from us. Let us unite, and let us pray for Zambia, and let God's will and wishes prevail. Thank you, Mwamba, and God bless Zambia.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and your contributions.
Good evening, Ambassador. Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
This is MK6 calling in from Lusaka.
My dear brother, make your contributions.
First of all, I cry and actually mourn for Mother Zambia, looking at where we are now. Firstly, I'm crying for the wastage of resources, of money. Look, the same thing that the Europeans are pushing in, they are the ones who shot it. How much was spent on Bill 10? And how much have we spent on Bill 7, first of all? So if we have a people with a heart for the Zambians, I think some of these things we should even be feeling ashamed to do them. I'm seeing like now Zambia or this country is just for the politicians. And no one else is benefiting but them. No wonder we are seeing now they want to start delimitation, increasing the number of MPs. You know, if you look at the numbers of salaries only on MPs, I can say maybe we take the nurses and teachers combined in the whole country for the salaries in every month. What duties or what work, what input and output does an MP put in the country as compared to the teachers and the nurses? First of all. The last thing that I want to talk about, the UPN, they shouldn't think that they'll be in power forever. They have set a very good record on how they have actually managed to put behind bars the people who we never even expected that they might be jailed. The best example is my lame old man from Kawambo, Bachirango. Who even thought that Bachirango can be jailed of a crime that he wasn't even there? Now, look at this, how they are shooting themselves in the foot. Are you there, Honorable?
Quickly wind up. There are so many calls.
Look, I'm just winding up on this, my point. So, delimitation. I've lived in all the governments, and I've seen how it has been done. They have started with delimitation before exercise of the voter registration. So now, Mwamba, you ask for me, the audience, and yourself. I am registered in Kamwala. Let me just wind up. I'm registered in Kamwala, or should I say Lusaka Central. And on the day of voting, I'm told that this constituency was divided. On my card, everything there shows that I'm in Lusaka Central. So which card am I going to use to vote in that new constituency? I think I need an answer for that question.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Tata Mwamba nine Mumbipiri.
Honorable Mumbipiri, Balishan Mukwai.
Bawe Tata, we just waiting upon the Lord.
Mkwai.
Tata Mwamba, Gefafi Nevandi Valeranda. God took you to where you are for this purpose. Bonse, that's why I'm sure even your wife and your children were saddened nangumwe beneta mwaishiva a time like this would come efyolesa abomba.
Thank you, Maya.
Tata Mwamba, it's so sad when you look at, Ina was a member of parliament representing even the University of Zambia. Cornelius Mwitolo Adiparanangwa adikweta political ambitions. He never used to behave the way our intellectuals now are behaving. I worked with Antonio Mwanza. I worked with Duncan. I worked with Vincent Chaila. But kwetama political ambitions, but they never, ever sided with the wrong. Ababa na tukwete. You know, ichalo, chirinensala. Ababa na tukwete, firaba mama chikamonika balandati. Mweba ume mwachibemba, chachi neta mwako atenshindo. Nomba chaya na kubana. Chabulanda, batinge febambi baleranda. Don't lose hope. Alalesa kumulo kwaba. And then I can testify to say, I've seen God's hand in my life. From the time I was a child, maybe that's why I'm very, very confident that God will make a way. Elonga mwamone finto fofide chitika. Inende monate aba nensu. Bale bachitafye expose kuliresa. Pakuti bamone kele. How can you set up a technical committee and a very big group kachinga badi 30 badia? Mwabadi pirenda lama. Ero nomba bakonete simwito kaisa pusumuka. Reka pusumuka nile sawa uwabombele pidia. Ukuisa atuwe bati, idia report ya pokere ba technical committee. It hasn't even been approved by cabinet. Nilesa. But weba open ukwebati, Bill 7, bakala chita present mairo for second reading. Nidia never concord. But Kene, that's what he has told us. Because from my understanding, having been a parliamentarian, Tidiabadi chita present kuriba president ngadi ya cabinet. And a white paper was supposed to come from that, isn't it?
Correct.
Nomba, bena bachita continue. Chidachi never concord. Bachita rukwe, but it's an constitution. What was the purpose of them bringing up a technical committee? If we to the farmer, a lot of farmers, abashitisha matabako FRA. Baba chitana babe banokubeba tama farmers gata mwalete 10 bags each to allow me from your parafisi program. Up to today, abantu tabala fola. Elo mwabule ndalama mwaona wida technical committee. Mwamba, me, I lost my daughter 6 months ago because wakonkene fyo kufwana Balungu. Balungu died on Thursday. My daughter died on Monday. Umwana within 2 months ukufwa na ovarian cancer. That time already kudeta kudi umuti. What I'm trying to say is tabudi umuti muma hospitals. Shide MP abadi pireba teket kokobiti. Itiba bonfyo kushita kofi umuti at least if they chita benefit abantu. Abantu bale chula katuishi muno buchalo balepo ka 10 hours amalight. But that tukwata ile company nedo sena leba ama journalists ngala tuma ku radio. Mwe bantu chiteni investigate yo baleba kanona. Bale shita bulk buying ya electricity bale shitisha abantu bale chula. As if that's not enough, nomba kutoa mfuati kwa disana atizamu shani Is it Zampost, whatever? Nabena balechita bulk buying from Zesco. Chalo chamutun chamsango ishi. Eno inenga na ingidira monda chita ngana alonesha because na ine politician. No mbanga na mona ba mofo bale chita. I even ask myself to say, do these people love their children? Na babe nabakaya mukuvotera bill 7. What history are they leaving for their children and their grandchildren? Because this is a very, very bad thing. Abana bakalenda munsebo bakale basonta. Oh, uli mwana wa nani? Oh, irrigationa. Eba votere bill 7. Is that what you want? They want to have money bamutumfira tina babashita. Money we should not go with kumanda. Ukashisha. Shashi. Mabutu Seseseko was Sabanga. You know very well. That munomcharo cha Zambia. I was the first presidential air hostess. When I finished school na Dorini Mwamba. Tualea kukuria kuba Dorite. Where Mabutu built that house, spoon in gold, knife in gold. Ariana Fio. Allah, in conclusion, don't lose hope. Zambia, na David Livingstone waishire muno, mishoni waishire fuira muno kuchitambo alirandirati. Ichalo cha Zambia. Muno mona fuira. Therefore, bakale chita proclaim Christ as their Lord. Bachiruba, Baita Christian nation. There are only 2 Christian nations in the world. United States of America and Zambia. Balungu batuleterako na 18 October, Day of Prayer, Fasting and Reconciliation. I believe lesa tatulekereshe. Mairo mukamone sipa kwefika chitika. Elo nangu baka kwanisho kuipisha. Mukamona kuntanshoko turea. God is with us. Don't lose hope. I know it's very frustrating. Kuti Mwamona, you have been an ambassador, you and me. As I conclude, Firiana imona muyumfa story, Swedish ambassador reva ifwe, at we are foolish. Is that normal? An ambassador using that language. So whatever is happening in Zambia is abnormal. That's why nombana tukwata, as I conclude. Akeshukuru kandi kamoka chipanga koluimbo. And the children are getting surprised because University of Zambia, Kale ekwale aba student, cream the cream. Oko mwale kusanga bale but we are the only universities in Zambia. These others are primary and secondary. Now they have changed it. They are saying University of Zambia, that's where there are no intellectuals. But these other universities, they have integrity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mumbipiri, former SG of the Deputy SG of the Patriotic Front. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contribution.
Hello, Ambassador Mwamba. Hope you're well. I was listening through the radio.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You are on now.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello? Oh, I've lost him.
Oh, hello. You haven't lost me. You are on.
Hello?
Yeah, I think something is playing in the background. Let me just cut it. Oh, what has happened? Oh, okay. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Okay, I think we've lost him. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, my brother. I prefer to remain anonymous. You know, dictators, when they become desperate, they also become more brutal. Am I clear, Ambassador Emmanuel?
Very clear, my brother.
Very good. So let me start by commending you first for your relentless effort in bringing us this program. And I want to tell you that we are praying for you.
Thank you very much.
Good. God raises people for each occasion, for each time. And for this time, we must take note of people who are raising up for this issue, like the past president, the lawyer Celestina Candile, and everybody who is standing up for justice. Well, for us who know President Hakainde Hichilema, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, when we see these things that are happening, sometimes I just sit and I'm laughing. Because look, these are issues that personally I've talked about over the years. And everybody has talked about these things for quite a long time. President Hakainde Hichilema is not a lawyer and he knows nothing about the law. He has people who are lawyers paid by the government to advise them, but doesn't get any advice. This is a bipartisan issue, and we need to appeal to the conscience of the members of parliament. This is an issue, and these are elderly people who know, the people enter parliament are all elderly people, and they know clearly that this is an illegality. They must be able to reject this bill. They know very party, including members of the UPND themselves. They are human beings, they are listening even to this program. They must go in there and reject this bill. But I want to put it to you, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, that with the issue of UPND, that party is run like a cult. So cult members cannot be able to stand against their leader. So the expectation is that members of the UPND would turn and vote rightly there is next to zero. Now, having said that, allow me also to comment on the statement that were issued by Honorable Shimbagamwira. And we must take note also for the resilience and the strength of that man. When people are doing something good, we must be able to take note of those people. The man is very strong and he's coming up. But indeed, what I can tell you, Ambassador, that you need to add extraordinary times required for extraordinary decisions and measures. And based on that, I'll tell you that I agree with what Shimbagamwira was saying. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because you can't have, this is not a normal situation, Ambassador, my brother, Ambassador. You can't have any normal elections in this environment as PF and have elections. Why didn't you have the elective commission, the co-elective convention, which was supposed to be held, I think, is it last month? So under President Hakainde Hichilema, you need the extraordinary measures. And the authority and the leadership of Given Rubinda must not be shaken. Because once you shake the leadership of Given Rubinda, you are simply shaking the real existence of the Patriotic Front. That man is a proven politician. He has stood the test of time. He has proven loyal to the Patriotic Front. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, am I talking alone? No, we are.
You are alive, my brother. The country is listening to you. The country is listening to you.
Please. Thank you very much. The country must be able to listen that these are extraordinary times which requires extraordinary measures. And I'm hereby registering my gratitude for people who are standing up for justice. People who are standing up for justice, we must be able to pray for these people. What we are saying is that all members of parliament who are going there, and we must take note of them. Those who are going to support this, the UPND rejected any registration that was there under the PF. They went to community house where they were dancing. And after that dancing, one of my good friends, James Lukuku, the following day, died at UTH. We don't even know what happened on that dancing. And if they were dancing, rejecting Bill 7, why should they be celebrating today over something which is actually more illegal than what they were rejecting? So in Sonia Wuntu, So please, the issue I'm appealing to the PF family to say, please stand solidly on the leadership of Given Rubinda.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Thank you for your advice. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Please listen to me. Don't listen to oh my God. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Make your contributions. Oh, we lost the caller. He was listening to the device. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, this is Dr. Mwanza.
Dr. Mwanza.
Calling you from
Thank you. Please mute your other device.
Yes, it is off now.
Thank you. Make your contributions.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Mwamba. I think concerning the issue of Bill 7, we are all talking about the same thing. It's about the life of this country and also to do something that to benefit the next generation. Otherwise, just to be on point is that, Hakainde Hichilema and his team, I think these people, it's more like, they are possessed. When the case, I will use also the word called case, when the case has, overtaken the mind and the life of a person or the team, or a group of people, which is the UPND, the case begins like to start controlling and give instructions. So right now, what I can say is that, these people, it's a cased team or cased party, which now wants to extend their case and their deadness even to others. And it would be very unfortunately to find that even the members of parliament who were voted by the community or maybe the constituencies where they are coming from, they want actually to disappoint the people. Others, it's just their first term to be in that parliament. So my appeal, let them just rethink about it. We are just remaining with our minutes or hours for them to do this session, because you look what you are explaining, Ambassador Mwamba, is that there are some things that are surprising even to the nation, whereby something that has never happened in Parliament, things are happening. Whereby the parliament is sitting tomorrow. I don't think so. If it has ever happened in the whole entire life of parliament since 1964, I don't know if it has happened. But these things are happening now through the leadership of Hakainde Hichilema. What sort of desperation does he have? You understand? And many people are talking on one thing concerning the delimitation of the constituencies. What about other clauses? They want us to, to blindfold the nation so that we can focus on this issue of delimitation, forgetting other clauses that are danger to the nation. So, Ambassador Mwamba, I think your program is very welcoming. Continue also fighting for the nation, and for me, if we can have a bold Zambian people against about this Bill 7, I think protest will do. Because this is a core of a mini war. I don't know. They can even tell me to say I'm inciting violence or maybe trying to invite war. I think this is how war starts. Because 90% of Zambian people, they are not in support. They are not in support of this Bill 7. Already the same people just to ride on what the previous caller said. These guys, they were dancing actually at community house with the song called Nimamuankore. What happened is because of their dancing celebrating for Bill 7. Why now are they fighting for this bill? They managed to fight Bill 10. Sorry. Why now are they want to push the Bill 7 today?
Thank you, Dr. Mwanza.
So I think, so please, we are ready to fight this. We are ready to fight.
Thank you,
very
Dr.
much, Ambassador.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hi, Ambassador Mwamba. This is your co-host Pumulo from California.
Yes, Queen Pumi. How are you, my dear sister?
We are hanging in there, you
No,
know.
we have a crisis tomorrow. Please give us your contributions.
Yes, thank you so much. I have two appeals. One appeal to the citizens of Zambia, and the second appeal is to the members of parliament. To the members of parliament, all of them, the 156 members of parliament, I just want to remind you that the Zambians voted for you to protect, defend the Constitution, and half of these MPs, they were there in 2011 opposing Bill 7. So how can they today so much be pushing the same thing that they rejected? This is the highest order of betrayal and hypocrisy I've ever seen in any government, and this will go down in the corridors of history. This is actually a historical moment where we are creating a banana republic, and we are watching a banana republic just being created. So I just appeal that all the 156 MPs should stay away and not vote for it, on standing on the ground of morality, integrity, and the oath they swore to protect the Constitution of Zambia. How can you remove by-elections and then you agree to having hand-picking MPs? That is clearly switching ideologies from democracy to dictatorship. And just that one bill of eliminating by-elections is we are switching our ideology to dictatorship once somebody has to handpick MP. To the Zambians, there is news going around that all Zambians should demand their MP to write a written statement to reject this Bill 7, and every MP that does not write that rejection of Bill 7, us Zambians will take it that they support it. But for those who are going to reject this Bill 7, that is your passport to remain in Zambian politics. So to all the MPs, just be aware that if we don't see that rejection, that is your exit from Zambian politics. None of these 156 MPs will ever be voted in to parliament if they support this. Only the 8 people whom the president appointed should vote for this. So every one of you, 156 MP, if we don't see your rejection, kiss your career goodbye. No Zambian will vote for them. Let us clean these people out of our political system. When we have elections in 2026, the adoption certificate should be the proof of rejection of this Bill 7. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Pumi. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and make your contributions.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Mwamba. My name is Uncle J. Another sad moment, but at the same time, it is a time again to experience God's grace and glory, and just to show that, man can pull things as far as man wants to pull them, but God has a final say. I want to echo the same words that Madam President Mumbi said. Let us trust God. As human beings, we have tried our best through organizations that we've known traditionally that have spoken against such issues, and successful governments obeyed and listened to these. But unfortunately, we have a government for the very first time that has disrespected and disregarded these institutions that have been part of governance in Zambia. UPND is a cult, and at the helm of this cult is Hakainde Hichilema that leads it. And all the people that are under this institution are truly under a spell. You know, you can see it from praise singers, you can see it from the ministers, the way they speak, everything pours into this cult leader. So, as Zambia, we are indeed on a crossroad, but we are not giving up our faith in God. There are battles that can be fought by us, and there are battles that can just be left to God. We've done everything that we want to do. You speak, they will arrest you, take you to jail like they've done to Kasonde Mwenda. So what remains? God, do it for us. I agree with what your statements that you made earlier. This is indeed left to us Zambians. For some reason, we have been so, for a lack of better term, solid docile. You know, we've been dormant. We don't want to move. We want someone else to do it for us. But I think if they force through this, I see something greater and terrible happening to this government. I thank you, Ambassador Mwamba.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, how are you, Ambassador Mwamba?
Very well, thank you.
Yes, Ambassador Mwamba, this is the Italian, a retired politician, but I think I need to contribute something concerning this Bill 7.
Thank you.
And allow me to speak at least in 2 or 3 languages so that my brothers in the Western Province and Northwestern Province and other areas they can hear.
That is okay.
Please. Yes. Wabulozi kaufela na mikupa all the MPs from Western Province. Iskelwa leksa Zambia. Kakuli Zambia eka izalafa ye biu aika fita. Kise minge kupepi wa hita mwa Zambia. Kamba kupepi wa Gaddafi kamba dikteta mutu. Yaka hana mane ni bulozi. Mane yo mutu kaeza lika zomusakoni kubulela.
Yes.
Yenu ku Northwestern Province. Kumiromba ma MPs wosena ku Northwestern Province. Please, kanda na tuhake mutu ebi unyina ya through amene. Itumini ngwabo nonyi bize bya mwaka bize independence yetu tunaimbidi. Let us work, please, together for the interest of each and every Zambian. And I ask all Christians today, tonight, let us pray so that we don't take back Zambia again to more like our dictators or colonial masters. Already, Zambia, from 2021 to now, we are seeing that there is nothing that is happening apart from hatred, apart from persecution of the what and oppression of the what the people that want to speak for the people of Zambia.
Thank you, my brother.
I beg of you. Finally, Southern Province, Ndagomba, please. If you are worried about your adoption, the Zambian people, tomorrow when you do the right thing and you deny this evil bill, 7, whether you are not adopted in the current UPND, whether you are not adopted with the party you are belonging because you have denied, you have refused this evil bill, I'll tell you, the Zambian people will remember you, and God himself will vindicate you and will bring you back. Please, I beg all the fellow Zambians, I beg all the members of parliament, 156 of you, please make an independent decision, not based on one person because he has an interest, but make this decision for the sake of each and every Zambian. If we are not going to reject Bill 7 tomorrow, believe me not, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, they will be scared even to mention the word democracy, because the moment you mention democracy, you'll be in for it. Ambassador Mwamba, thank God. May God bless you also for this program.
Thank you, my brother.
We know why you are there. We were there because of the same persecution. Now imagine if this Bill 7 goes through, meaning there will be no persecution. We'll be just hearing people will be disappearing and the country will go somewhere. Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you, my
bless
brother, and thank you for speaking in various languages. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening. Thank you, Ambassador. This is Rooney.
Yes, Rooney, make your contributions.
Thank you. Inefo ndifo kulanda kuna ma MPs bonse abakwete opportunity yako ya ku parliament mairo. Fwe na Zambia bon state twise twingire mu parliament umo. Imwe ma MPs ni mwe wakwata yo chance ya kuingira mu parliament. Aba mipere ayo amaka bena Zambia. So nga mu parliament tulero mbako mukite ekintu ekituntulu in case mukayako mukakwanisha okuya mukakite ekintu ekituntulu whether ni muba UPND na muba opposition mukakite ekintu ekituntulu abena Zambia bonse balirosha amenso palimwe balefu okumona ushaja chini mwaimina na abena Zambia na mwaimina n'otufumu twenu mulefu abafumu yenu alekula abena Zambia alechepa tulero mbako fe okubati ama MPs nga bamule mu parliament bakakite ekintu ekituntulu and then kuli fo abena Zambia bonse tweberesha okulanda biralo lero okulanda okwebatiyo tukesashita act mu 2026 ndemba muchinga kyakwalesa mukasango okwebati na 2026 ine temwaka vote n'okuvota takakabino okuvota mukapapa bantu ifine fresh ticket ibi 7 yawe nga yapita mukasango okwebati ikakanya n'okuvota temwaka vote mukambukula mfwa kwebati okisa vota ni next year ni isa ye ni jaye bantu ni chikufu balefu afyachitika lero bale muleka bafuka bale application ku application kuba chiyo delimitation na muri in constitution twakwata emo yaba yalondola kuti kwaba delimitation after 10 years ngala ba delimitation no mafinshi bale forcing in ifintu tafiri buno so fubena Zambia bonstulelanda na mwema MPs bonse mwema kala vota twamiromba mukashite ekintu ichaya na mukashite ekintu ichituntulu bantu fubena Zambia tulemirolesha na total.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Ngosa Chitimukulu, make your contribution, sir.
Kwena na ine ndefo okulanda pokwena ndetumina ku Lusaka kuno ndechitapi kuma MPs wonse wakasangwa mu parliament berolesha ati nebo MP wa UPND nebo MP wa PF alaba nerolesheni pakuchushwa bina Zambia sho bali pitamo iyi constitution yo balefu okutuletera mu ushiku wa mailo naibipa nga chakwati mwalite mwafefe bena Zambia mwalite mwecharo mwema MP abatuli banshi tulerira fwe bantu na tufiro okulya na tufiro okulala tatukwete omutende mu kyalo kyesu so mama MP zero mukana ba mu parliament may God strengthen you mwikatino omuntu nangumo kuba fena lesa mukemine pe pacharo cha Zambia ko bati fwe twamina fena abantu bacharo cha Zambia so ama MPs bonse aba PF aba independence bonse tule mipepera kutatwalale tulina imwe mu mapepo kwatiresa byonse fe mukachita muri bushiku wa mairo mukabe na lesa na totora mkwai.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mwamba.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Mr. Patson Tembo from Kahoe.
Mr. Tembo, make your contributions.
Yes, I want to talk about the Bill 7 issue.
Yes.
As for me, I'm against Bill 7 because of one clause. No, this clause says that like for a political party who have powers to replace an MP, for example, if he died or anything happened. Because that clause is very dangerous to our nation. Just imagine I become the president of the republic. Then I just decided, let me chase all the MPs and appoint my own relatives and friends. How is the parliament going to be? Because if you follow very well our Zambian politics, is different from the South African politics. Here in Zambia, once you form a political party, become a president, you automatically become the king. No one can talk anything bad about you. No one can chase you from a political party. So that is very bad. Even these UPND MPs who are busy supporting East, if by the grace of God, Mr. Againde wins again elections next year, they'll be whipped with the same whip. some of them will be removed from parliament and he will be appointing his friends and the family members. They will start crying foul, but he will be acting according to the law. No wonder I cannot support that bill. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador Mwamba Chanda from Indianapolis. How are you?
Thank you, Bachanda. Make your contributions.
Yes, and I fully agree with the previous caller, right? But I won't dwell on that. The questions we must ask ourselves is there an immediate need to amend the Constitution, first and foremost? Secondly, if we did not follow the laid down procedure or process to amend the Constitution, that makes this exercise an illegality. If these politicians can come and forego what the Constitution provides for in terms of process and procedure, we are creating a situation where somebody can wake up today and change the Constitution for their own interests. We don't need to do that. We have come a long way as a country to try and be democratic. But we always face situations where a party will come in power and they will take us 10, 20 years backwards. It's very, very unfortunate that people are driving a bill that benefits them. You understand? I would appeal to all peace-loving and loyal and patriotic members of parliament who reject this bill tomorrow. We have spoken. The executive has been very adamant and very arrogant about it. We have spoken. Those MPs, if they love this country, they must reject that, okay? The previous caller alluded to what is going to stop the president today to appoint his relatives once one person is removed, or two people, or 10, 20 MPs are removed. What is going to stop that bloodline hegemony? You see that? Nothing will stop him from appointing relatives to MP positions. Then the last point, Ambassador, this is being done in the guise that it will give women, the youth, and the differently abled an opportunity to serve in government. Listen, political parties go through adoption processes for candidates, right? Why can't we do it at the party level and say we are reserving 20% of our selected candidates to the women, to the youth, and to the differently abled? And they must be subjected to an election. Why? Because in a democracy, whether you're abled, whether you're disabled, whether you are a woman or a man, you have to be chosen by the people. Right? We cannot handpick leaders. Who are they going to be accountable to? Right? You handpick an MP. Who are they accountable to? People must be accountable to the voters, to the citizens of the country. This is ill-conceived, and it's just so disappointing that the president and his cabinet and his supporters are not trying to see this from the Zambians' perspective. We have so many issues to fix in our country. The Constitution is not one of them. Okay? Mwamba, real quick. In Zambia today, you build a house. It will take you 5, 6, 7 years to get a certificate of title. Do you know what that does? If it takes you that long, you cannot access the equity you have built in your house if you don't have title. Because if you were able to get title in the shortest possible time, you can go to a bank and borrow money against your property and invest in other projects. In the long run, we are creating wealth for our people. Has anybody the current Minister of Lands, the current Permanent Secretary of Lands, Mr. Mcheleke, is a very good friend of mine. As they sat down to interrogate the process, why should it take so long for somebody to get a title? We are addressing issues in this country that have nothing to do with growth. Nothing, completely nothing. We want to increase the number of MPs. At whose expense? Do we have a budget for that? You see? It's just so disappointing that we have people in leadership today who can't sit down and implement things that are workable and beneficial for the majority of our people. 60 years after independence, we have areas in the country that have no running water. We have people that live in grass-thatched houses. We have a situation in Lusaka where when it rains, it's highly flooded. So there are no solutions to these critical problems that we have than rushing to amend the constitution because the PF, the MMD, UNIP changed the constitution. No. It's about time that these guys developed a heart for our suffering people. It's not a decision of ours to suffer. No, it's because there are no job opportunities, there are no business opportunities. You see, I really, really, truly pray that our members of parliament, regardless of party affiliation, Ambassador, they come up and do the right thing tomorrow. We can always revisit this amendment after next year's elections. It's okay. It's not a priority. We have mines taking away so much money, and yet we are focusing on the constitution. The constitution is not going to bring food on the table for our people. It's not going to stop load shedding. It's not going to reduce taxes. It's not going to bring growth. We need sound, solid economic policies that empower our people. The more wealth we create locally, the better for our country. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. I've got another caller here. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. I'm calling you from Lusaka, and I'll remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yes, so I just want to say this Bill 10 waiting to is really saddening us.
Bill 7.
It is saddening. I'm saying it is saddening. Then I'm saying, for them on a number, twitch to conclude the flesh to every my run away. Kwebati, Uyumuntu Mamubika. Mwabika pa mpando oyo mwapera ku president I dictator ero pakumufumya apo mukakuse yali amashu yalandire bana wakwe baleti tekuyakitanda leta awe ero ife abantu batemusa kulolera yo 2026 ero tukachita shani awe tafyaka bombe apa na my elections aya yale moneka no komunikati they've already cooked them. Then each number 2 kufa fyo kutasha kwa imwe ba Mwamba pafyo mlegomba your courageous spirit. Please keep up the good work, and I can only wish you good health, because with good health you can do anything. You can become whatever you want to become. I say thank you.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you so much. We pick more calls. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Mkwai.
Bali Bill 7 first chako walira pondero mbogwerero kuli imwe atotera sana pafyo mwachisa mbika muishira nalomba no gwerero kuba fyashweso wakambwiri ko yana nachi pafyo wakuntirwa no mutima
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have more calls. Who was he still speaking? Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Indeed time.
Abantu bonse fwe abatatuishire kukubiringana kwa Bill7 ekutira fwe farmers nga bayipishe itwala pokendalama equation yandide ipisha takwaba bala abantu abapere ndalama balaba amabaye kuma consultation. I don't know how much they've given them, but why this rush? Chive chalo chonse kumachoma kuisa konso kwa bantu barapere ndalama. Why this rush? Thank you, Amma.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we may need now to begin winding up. If you have an urgent matter regarding tomorrow and you wish to contribute, Gary Nkombo asked, where is the delimitation report? Listen to this. Oh, where is the video? Let me look for the video for Gary Nkombo so that we can play it quickly.
Chairman, I see that the Commission, good morning and welcome, supports the clause for delimitation of constituencies. I would like to find out, Chair, at what stage the Commission is going to communicate to the nation which constituencies will be due for delimitation.
Thank you, Honorable Nkombo. Witness, please take note.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. At this stage, Chair, I seek your indulgence to invite my colleagues to respond to some of the clarifications. I'll speak to the first question in terms of where Honorable Nkombo sought clarity from the Commission as to when the Commission will indicate to the people of Zambia which constituencies are earmarked for delimitation. Honorable Chairperson, your committee may wish to note that following the public consultation exercise that the Electoral Commission of Zambia undertook in 2019, a report was prepared and that report was submitted to the executive. It is that report, Honorable Chairperson, that has since been revised and again submitted to the executive to inform the number that is indicated in the bill. Honorable Chairperson, once the Electoral Commission of Zambia submits that report or such a report to the executive, it's no longer in the hands of the Commission to release that report to the public. It is with the executive. So where the Commission stands is now to await for the amendment of the Constitution.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. I would remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Thank you so very much. I've been following your conversations and I was inspired by the comments that Honorable Mumbipuri made, have faith in God. And as people are saying, we're at the crossroads, like the way the Israelites were at the Red Sea. But they were told to stand still and see the salvation of God. So Zambia, as Honorable Mumbipiri said, is a Christian nation. And to the glory of God, all these that are happening
it will be to the glory of God. Abasite expose who they are. So, Ambassador Mwamba, God is with us. And the way I see things, even if I went abantu babo, he said, don't kuveva game that is being played. You just flow with them. But so God will vindicate us. The battle is for God. I submit.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. If you have anything to contribute, please do so.
And once the implementation.
Chairman, I see that the Commission, good morning and welcome, supports the clause for delimitation of constituencies. I would like to find out, Chair, at what stage the Commission is going to communicate to the nation which constituencies will be due for delimitation.
Thank you, Honorable Kombo. Witness, please take note.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. At this stage, Chair, I seek your indulgence to invite my colleagues to respond to some of the clarifications. I'll speak to the first question in terms of where Honorable Nkombo sought.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Mr. Tembo again from Kafue.
Yes, Mr. Tembo.
Yes, I want to again to contribute about party issue and I come back maybe Bill 7 we increase the participation of women in politics and the disabled people. So those issues, there's no need of changing the constitution until for us to pass that Bill 7. It's just a simple matter. We can just make, for example, every after 10 years, we select maybe 5 or maybe 20 or 50 constituencies for women. We make sure that each political party, if you want to choose a candidate for that particular constituency, you're supposed to choose a woman. Then make sure one of those women will be voting in as an MP. Same as applies to the disabled, just like that. And Mr. Mwamba, remember, just imagine if in 1999 to 2001 there somewhere, when Frederick Chilwa wanted to change the constitution for him to bid for the third term, this bill was there. The constitution was like Bill 7. So Barapisha MP was against him about the third term. Now choosing a back was then. So Baramadi is still a president. So Bill 7 just tomorrow must fall. Like the previous scholar which she has said that make sure that you just do the don't waiver because I know in parliament there is secret vote. There will be secret vote. Just do don't waiver. They don't know that it's you, Mr. Imbe, who has voted for it or not. You vote for it today, next year the president will chase you for that parliament. You start crying foul again. Okay, good night.
Thank you very much. Let me take the last cause. I think we are done for the day. Tomorrow is a day. Tomorrow is a day. Remember, when you do nothing, evil reigns. Evil reigns only because good people do nothing. And that was our theme today regarding Bill 7. Let me just wind up. Thank you to all that called today, and thank you for your contributions, and thank you for today was an emotive day for me. I think we are letting things slide by. We are letting evil reign. We are letting evil take inch by inch. Our land is being taken and we are doing nothing. And you have an insensitive president that doesn't listen to public opinion. He's obstinate. He does what he wants. He behaves like he's king. This matter has been rejected by the courts of law. This matter has been rejected by key stakeholders such as Oasis Forum. My caller, I'm trying to wind up unless you have something very urgent to say. Hello, caller.
Okay, then it's okay. It's fine.
No. You are through. Make your contributions. Ni program ya bantu hii. Emkwai.
Mashinaya yafunya yama MPs parliament kwebati twapapa atamwe abantu ebamivote basande chanda twamironga alrusha bonse twamirongo kwebati awe shuwa ngamaya mkuvota kulya twamironga ikanini piuseje yitulimironga kuyilabo kwebati abantu ebamivote bandrusha naba sande chanda muyilabo fo bamisuki bapiyefu efo bamisungire batata bayitika twamilomba bonse bapiyefu bonse mwema MPs shuwa twamilomba mwishina yakwalisa natotela bachisoma baba.
Thank you very much. I was just strengthening my voice that this is an issue of the people. It's not an issue about parties or who supports President Hakainde Hichilema or not. This is about our constitution. Ulupapulo Luachalo, and it's being treated like a partisan document, like a political contest. You have seen that President Hakainde Hichilema wants to win. It's like why we haven't buried the late president, because President Hakainde Hichilema wants to win. Everything is a political contest. Now, that disposition is very dangerous for our country. It is extremely dangerous for our country. Public affairs must be handled like public issues. No one owns this country. This country is ours collectively together. And you can't do this, you can't manage this country on your own. Listen to the key stakeholders. You can't manipulate processes in the manner the president is doing. He's setting stage for our country to lose peace. That's what exactly he's doing. So we want to Akwalesa, we pray, we continue to pray that something dramatic happens tomorrow and that this law does not pass in any way. For those that who wish to have been bought by 30 pieces of silver, just remember Judas Iscariot. After selling Jesus, he couldn't even use that money. He went and took his life. That's how heavy some things are. It's not even worth any penny. It's not even worth any sacrifice. You didn't go to parliament to sell your soul and to sell your country. You went to parliament to save our people and to save God. Are you doing both of those things tomorrow? God bless you, and we will see you.
Malaiti na lelo kulibe fertilizer famasa kwanisa bati uzati kwenyu sembe tenze tinazibati. This is what you meant. Kaleza sembe siti na vote talema na boaba talema na boza basi eni baende tuone kovina wenye wapaka sweet tokaisha tifuna mariza utinoti mastori abamvula ya kwa manje mulimi sana fole fertilizer yodulatiza gula bonji apatienda kuma elections muzani pasa exuze bwanji ndabachionekani napanga mistake talema na boaba talema na boza basi eni maende tione kovina wenye wapaka sweet tokaisha tifuna mariza usinoti mastori. Kwenyu ndemwe chabe mabanja onanjala mkomo ndalama zonse mutumbalano masukwa kuchuluka pa mutupatu. Time is up, When you not enough, time is up. For your lies and bluff, time is up, time is up. When you not enough, time is up. For your lies and bluff. Kanizanu ndizo panda pindu. Anakulira miseu mwatu. Tikufuna chilengede chatopano. Osati my pocket anu opindika ndalama. Listen to the cries, they're louder than your lies. You can't silence the truth. It's time for the youth. Time is up, time is up. When you is not enough, time is up. For your lies and bluff, time is up, time is up. When you not enough, time is up. For your lies and bluff, we rise, we stand, we fight together for the children, for a better forever. When you kunata pano, we take the rain. Tikonza jiko.